Hello and welcome to Andy Likes Cars. Today we're going to be looking at this, the 2014 BMW M4. So the M4 was a new model for BMW, replacing a long line of BMW M3 coupes. One reason that they probably called it the BMW M4 as opposed to the M3 is because it has actually gotten to be quite a big car. This is about 10 centimetres shorter than the 1980s 635 CSI coupe. However, that bigger size does lead to a really nicely proportioned car. This has to be the nicest looking BMW coupe currently available. The new 8 Series looks pudgy and fat and like a slightly refurbished version of a 6 Series, and the M2 coupe looks a little bit short and stouty. So this is nice, it's in the middle, and it seems to have decent proportions all round. So unlike a lot of performance cars, the BMW M4 isn't just a BMW 4 Series with a larger engine. It's much more sophisticated than that. Starting up the front, we have a different front bumper. There's a lot of holes, and that's because this car needs a lot of cooling. It has water-cooled turbos. The BMW comes with optional LED lights to really shine a bright light on the road. She's a little wider for the bigger tyres. So one cool thing about this tyre is that this tyre was designed specifically for the M4. BMW and Michelin worked together to produce this. So the M styling continues around the side with these side vents here with the M4 badge here. Another key difference between the M4 and the regular 4 Series is the side mirrors. They have a much more aerodynamic design to allow air to pass through. Now, one of BMW's hallmark features on their M cars is a carbon fibre roof, and this M4 is no exception. The carbon roof lowers the centre of gravity, allowing for better handling. So underneath the bonnet, the first thing you see is this really large strut bar here, which is for bracing the engine. It's made out of carbon fibre and adds to the serious performance nature of this car. The engine is a 3-litre twin-turbo straight 6, which is a return to form for BMW as it replaces a V8 that was found in the previous generation M3. It develops 440 horsepower from factory. When it comes to turning forces, the BMW M4 has 550 Nm of torque from the factory. At the rear, we find a new rear bumper, and the boot lid is particularly interesting as it's got a completely new design with this very subtle built-in spoiler. It's often said the Germans don't have a sense of humour, but BMW obviously do, because to open the boot they expect you to have a dance. Once you've finished dancing and gone on to American Idol to show your talents, you'll find an enormous boot. Yes, the BMW 4 Series is actually quite a practical car. This boot's huge and much larger than what you'd find on most sports coupes. Like most modern cars, lowering your rear seats is quite easy. If you need to carry longer items, all you do is this. This M4 is optioned with the M Performance Sports exhaust system. As you would expect from a BMW, the interior is luxuriously appointed. There's leather everywhere and lots of nice sporting upgrades which come on the M4. One such upgrade is these lovely sports seats which are heated and ventilated, the M Sport steering wheel in front of me, and the carbon fibre trim on the dashboard. This car has a few extra options over the standard model, including surround view cameras, a head-up display, and it has M dynamic suspension. Overall, the interior is really nice. You've got lever on the steering wheel. The paddle shifters here feel nice to hold and are made of a good quality. You've also got M mode buttons on the steering wheel, a speed limiter on the steering wheel, and voice controls for the mobile phone. One thing that they elected to keep in the BMW M4 is a proper handbrake. The transmission in this car is particularly interesting. It's a robotised manual gearbox with twin clutches and 7 speeds. Most of the interior controls are done with iDrive. Other toys include dual zone climate control, a automatic dipping rear view mirror, a large glove box. There's also automatic headlights, being as this is a German car. This is quite a big car. But how much room is there inside? Let's find out. So in the back, there's actually quite a lot of room. This wouldn't be a horrible place to be for a couple of hours on a journey. The one characteristic of BMW cars, and especially M cars, is how they drive. Of all the cars I've ever driven, BMWs stick to the road like glue, and they feel so solid. We're now out in the countryside, out of Auckland, and that's where all the BMW M comes into its own. The steering is fantastic on this car. It's direct, commutative. It has electronic steering, which some people will say loses feel, but I have no problem placing this on the road. So this car has something called M dynamic suspension, which has a few modes to change through. It also has adjustable steering. It also has a button down near the gearbox to adjust the ferocity of the gearbox changes. Basically you can fiddle with all sorts of knobs and dials and set this car up for just how you like it. One thing to note, the M4 is more track focused than the M5. So it's got a sporty ride, but it's not unbearable. And it's within the realms of the Audi RS4, the Mercedes C63 AMG and the like. The BMW M4 is a seriously fast car. About 10 years ago, on the channel, we tested a Ferrari 599 Fiorano. Now that was the fastest Ferrari of the day, and that got from 0 to 100 in about 3.5 seconds. Now this is just a BMW M4, and it can do it in 3.9. So within half a second of what used to be the top of a range Ferrari, really shows you how much performance has moved on. So right now we're behind a little Volkswagen Caddy, and he's pootling on at 87 and coming up to a passing lane, and I'm sure this won't be particularly difficult to. And without even missing a beat, it passes it. That's what 450 horsepower from factory does. Yeah, the great thing about BMWs is that they are drivers' cars. The reason that they had the slogan, the ultimate driving machine, is because they are. They are nice to drive. You do feel the need to change gears yourself. You can do that with these pedals on the steering wheel. In Super Duper M mode, there are 7 speeds to go through, and they make the engine purr. Now, one of the criticisms about this car when it came out was that the engine was not as good sounding as a previous V8. But honestly, it sounds pretty good. It's sporty when it needs to be sporty, and it's quiet when it needs to be quiet. So one nice feature of the M4 is it is a head-up display. And not only does it project the speed that you're going, but the legal speed limit of the road that you're on. It's a nice feature to have, and it means that your eyes are always on the road rather than looking down at the dashboard. So I've been driving around for most of the day, and I'm actually averaging 10 litres per 100 k's, which isn't bad given that this is a performance car. Efficient dynamics that BMW bangs on about is still available in this car here. So, are there any downsides of a BMW M4? Well, if you ever need to go to work and you need to get out of a side turning, don't buy this car because no one will ever let you out. And there also used to be quite a stigma with BMWs as being tossers, and the BMW M4 is getting awfully close to that. Speaking of tossery type of things, imagine you've gone out, you've gone on a date with a beautiful lady, you've had a lovely dinner, and you're the gentleman and you offer her a ride home. You're walking towards a BMW. Now she sees that you drive a BMW, she probably thinks, oh, he's a nice guy, okay, he's got a little bit of class, cool. And then you unlock it. And when you unlock this car, there's some ambient lighting inside on the seats. There are M badges on the seats which light up. And she's then going to ask, why are there light up M's on your seats? And then you're going to have to explain to her that this is the M4 and it's the performance model. And then you're going to sound like a car bore. And that, for me, is quite naff. In New Zealand, the BMW M4 range is only available with the M4 competition package, and this starts at $172,700. This includes an upgraded engine to give 460 horsepower, special adaptive M suspension, the burnished 20-inch M light alloy wheels, and the M Sports exhaust system. If you're looking for options, There are the carbon ceramic disc brakes for $15,000, surround view for $1,800, lane departure warning system for $1,300. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe and hit that bell notification icon. It really helps me to make better videos in the future for you guys. And as always, thanks for watching.